The real-life rivalry between Stephanie McMahon and Chyna is one that has long been the topic of rumors. Though the details of their personal relationship have never been clear, the fact that they have been rivals in their personal and professional lives is quite clear. This is Wrestling Up, and we're talking about the real-life rivalry between Chyna and Stephanie McMahon. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Stephanie McMahon is the most recognizable woman in the wrestling world. Even though she does not appear on television on a regular basis anymore, there is perhaps no one who has wielded as much influence in wrestling. As the daughter of the pioneer behind WWE, Stephanie has been present on screen in different roles for the company, while acting behind the scenes in official corporate roles. Currently, she is the chief brand officer in WWE, helping to improve the value of WWE as a whole. On the other hand, Chyna is also one of the more well-recognized names in wrestling. Known for being the ninth wonder of the world, she spent a large amount of her time in wrestling showing off her brutish strength and ability in the ring, facing men and even holding the Intercontinental title, while she also acted as the bodyguard for Triple H and Shawn Michaels as a part of D-Generation X. She would date Triple H in real life before Triple H ditched her to date Stephanie. Chyna would never make it big in wrestling after this and would go on to lead a controversial and sad life before her passing. One of the key focuses in the lives of Stephanie McMahon and Chyna was Triple H. Triple H was in a relationship with Chyna when they were working together in WWE, but that situation would change when he instead started to date Stephanie, whom he would eventually marry and have children with. When Stephanie first met Triple H, she had no idea that the wrestler was dating Chyna. In fact, had that been the case, the picture of their relationship that fans have today might have been very different. At first, Stephanie didn't really think of Triple H as a romantic partner. Instead, she had assumed that the fact that D-Generation X was as close as it was meant that Triple H and Shawn Michaels were more than just friends. She assumed the two of them were in a relationship with each other secretly, and that they were gay. However, when they met in real life, she understood that was not the case. The second time they met, Stephanie fell for Triple H. While she had been put off by the prospect of Triple H and Shawn Michaels probably being together at first, when she understood that Triple H was with Chyna, she was no longer pushed away. That by itself not put Stephanie in the best light, and it's true. She didn't care about the fact that Triple H was dating Chyna at the time, and she was in love with him. DX member Triple H was in a storyline where he would kidnap Stephanie as a part of a feud with Vince McMahon. At the same time, Chyna started a storyline with Eddie Guerrero, where the two would do battle, but were also in a love interest angle. However, while Eddie Guerrero and Chyna would keep things professional, reality and storyline blurred for Triple H and Stephanie, as the two began to date behind the scenes, even though Triple H was still very much in a relationship. As Chyna's former manager, Anthony Ansaldo, revealed, Chyna found out about Triple H and Stephanie in the most difficult way possible, discovering their love letters to each other. It took a year before Chyna caught them. How did she catch them? They owned a house together in New Hampshire. They were engaged, Triple H and Chyna. He never gave her a ring, but Triple H gave Stephanie a ring. But it was all part of the storyline, but it was real life. So that's when Chyna started to go, is this real? And he's like, why are you saying that? Don't accuse me. As few of times as they're actually home together in New Hampshire at their house over the course of 365 days, maybe 8 days, she goes to his briefcase and picked the lock, and found a letter from Stephanie professing her love, approaches Hunter, proceeds to get into World War III. When they had that encounter, let's just say it was loud, and there was issues, and he apologized, and that was the last time they spoke. She left that house. All of her costumes and belts, her stuff, she left it all there. She had nothing when she left that house, and they hadn't spoken until Rowdy Roddy Piper's funeral. The manager would also reveal that they had Chyna and Eddie Guerrero's storyline written just just so that Chyna and Eddie would travel on the road together, which would leave time for Stephanie and Triple H. Meanwhile, Vicky Guerrero hated that Eddie was being used in that storyline. When she found out Stephanie and Hunter started their relationship on camera, they made sure she was having a relationship with Eddie Guerrero, which, by the way, Eddie's wife hated that. So they had Eddie and Chyna on the road all over the place, and they had Hunter and Stephanie on the road while they were actually really The fact that all of this happened led to Chyna's career going down the drain. The wrestler had some real life issues, and on top of that, finding out that things between her and Triple H were over in such a manner was almost the last straw. It was the beginning of hardships for Chyna. Chyna and WWE had already been in contract negotiations for some time during this point about renewing the deal. However, the next day she went into the contract negotiations to find out she was fired without being given a reason. She went to meet Vince McMahon to talk to him, but instead came across Stephanie standing out her father's office. She and Stephanie went into the room together. With the tension and the knowledge of the real-life rivalry between them and the hatred seething, it didn't get physical there, but the confrontation that happened was ugly. Vince McMahon was not there when they went in. Neither woman got physical with the other, according to Anzaldo, but they were loud, confronting one another over the common issue they were facing, their relationship with Triple H. When Vince came in, he mitigated the quarrel, but then fired Chyna anyway. Then Stephanie stepped up. She took me into the room. We talked and she goes, "Well, I love him. He's my man. I'm sorry if you feel that way." And I shut her up. I said, "Shut up. Call your dad in here because I'm going to choke you out. If you really feel that way, take control of yourself." Then Vince came in and said, "Let's do a new contract. I know this is tough for you, but it's going to be okay." Then I went home and I got a fax saying they didn't need me anymore. Bruce Pritchard also talked about the final meeting that took place between Chyna and Vince McMahon. Vince was apparently sorry about Chyna and what had happened to her, was even offering for a huge deal that Chyna ended up turning down. That led to Vince having enough and fired her. Vince told us that he couldn't do what she was asking. He made a very fair offer to her, and he offered her a deal, more money than she was making, a downside guarantee that was more than she was making the year before. It was above and beyond what, had the situation been different, that he would have offered. She told him what she wanted. She said, "I don't think I can work here under those conditions." Vince said, "That is your choice, but at the same time you're under contract, and I will pay you all the way through that. But you also have this offer on the table. Now, if you're not willing to take that, I understand that too. That's not going to be an open offer." Now, had Stephanie McMahon and Triple H not gotten into a relationship when and how they did, would Chyna's negotiations have gone differently? It's impossible to tell at this stage. Chyna faded away into the background at WWE slowly but surely. Triple H and Stephanie were in a storyline where they were revealed to be a couple. Due to the angle, they would be together on screen at all times, kissing each other and being romantic. While in ordinary circumstances a storyline might not have affected a real couple, the situation was different for Triple H and Chyna. The two were already having issues in their relationship at the time, and this was too much to take. Apparently, Chyna used to break down into tears in the locker room on a weekly basis, seeing it happen on TV, and would be a wreck of a human being thanks to the situation. Like any other lover who has been turned down, Chyna was looking for any and all places to fall back to. She left WWE, and at the same time her use of drugs went up. The warning signs were there. She started to date X-Pac, and their relationship was one of the worst things that could have happened. Instead of finding a steady and stable influence in X-Pac, they started to both indulge in drug abuse. As would turn out later, X-Pac and Chyna's relationship also had accusations of domestic abuse, with Chyna hitting out and getting more and more unstable. What was worse for Chyna, where she was hoping that Triple H would get jealous of X-Pac and maybe even leave Stephanie, he didn't. Instead, he spoke with concern about his friend, X-Pac, more than his girlfriend. The whole situation was too much. Chyna's spiral continued even after her relationship with X-Pac ended. Chyna became involved in the adult industry and started to perform in films, with actors pretending to be Vince McMahon, Triple H, and other WWE stars. Stephanie McMahon was very unhappy about this, and this even led to harsher feelings between the two. Triple H was unhappy as well, and was worried about his children finding out about these videos by Googling them, and even spoke about it while discussing if Chyna should go into the Hall of Fame. It's a bit difficult though, and this is the flip side of the coin that nobody looks at. I've got an 8-year-old kid. My 8-year-old kid sees the Hall of Fame, and my 8-year-old kid goes on the internet to look at, oh, this is Chyna, I've never heard of her. I'm 8 years old, I've never heard of that. So I type it in, I go punch it up, and what comes up? And I'm not criticizing anybody, I'm not criticizing lifestyle choices. Everybody has their reasons. I don't know what they were and I don't care to know. It's not a morality thing or anything else. It is just the fact of what it is. That's a difficult choice. Chyna didn't care, and after leaving WWE, she was very bitter about Stephanie and Triple H, and that hatred never went away. While Stephanie and Chyna were rivals in real life and never liked each other, one man ended up benefiting from his relationship with both stars. Triple H was just another struggling wrestler before he became a part of DX. His work together with Chyna during this time was integral to him getting noticed, but in the end, it was Stephanie who took over from there. In fact, it might be because of his relationship with Stephanie that Triple H became far more heavily involved in the corporate side of things. In a way, Triple H got the best of both worlds, and has now become a venerated figure in wrestling as a result. And this was the real-life rivalry between Chyna and Stephanie McMahon. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.